Hello guys, what's the crack? It is Connor, or CDX here, back with another video, where today I'm going to be doing my Premier League prediction. So yeah, without further ado, let's get straight into the video. So, in the 20th position, I think it will be Cardiff City, because even though they did have an excellent season last season, getting straight through to the Premier League in second place, Championship, I just don't think they've done enough in the transfer market to really compete with other teams. And then of course the statistics are there. Cardiff really never do very well in the Premier League. So I'd be surprised if they can actually keep up with the pressure of the big teams and stuff like that. And even the smaller teams as well. Because I think they're at about that level, around near the smaller teams. But I just think they'll just go back into the Championship, even after such a good season last season. In number 19, I think Huddersfield will also get relegated, because after just about staying in the Premier League, I don't think they've done enough in the transfer market to keep themselves up, because of other teams bringing in such big players, like even the teams above them, like Fulham, Wolves, West Ham. And then you've got all your big teams. You've even got quite small teams, like Southampton have brought in some decent players, and I don't think Huddersfield have really brought in anything. So yeah, I don't think they'll do enough. They have signed some players, but I don't think they're really that Premier League tier. So yeah, I think they'll go down in 19th position. In the 18th position, I've gone for Brighton, just purely gut feeling. I just don't think they'll be able to keep up with the teams ahead of them this year, because I just don't see it happening with other teams doing so well and stuff like that, and doing so well in the transfer market, and pre-seasons are really showing that. Brighton didn't have the best season last season, but it was quite good considering they'd just come up. But I do think they are going to be going down in the 18th position. In the 17th position, I've gone for Bournemouth, purely because of the fact of last season as well. They came just above the relegation zone, and of course you have players like King, who are one of them players that just aren't getting better by age. Like, he's really slowing down in his career, and they seem to be getting a lot of injuries during the seasons and stuff like that. So I think they'll just about scrape themselves, keeping themselves in the Premier League. So in 16th position, I've gone for Southampton. Again, another transfer market one. They've signed some good players like Elyounoussi and stuff like that. But with teams above them, teams like Fulham, even Wolves and stuff like that, I just think they haven't done enough this season to keep up with the Premier League's bracket of teams. So I think again they'll probably just about have about the same season as last season. They'll keep themselves up, but they won't have the best season. And of course they have Mark Hughes, the manager, who I actually don't think is a very good manager. His play style's a wee bit boring, but hey, who's to say? I'm a United fan. But anyway, 15th position, I've gone for Fulham. Coming up from the Championship, the playoffs. Of course, playoffs earns you a lot of money if you want it, and I think they're going to do quite well for their first season back up in a long time. So they're going to have a lot of pressure on them. But at the same time, I do think they're going to do quite well with players like Ryan Sessegnon and a decent defence. They signed Le Marchand from Nice, who's a decent enough centre half. So I think they're going to do good for what type of team they are, but they're still going to want to improve next season if they do stay up, I think. And 14th position, I've gone for Leicester, because of course they're a very good team. Well, not a very good team, but they're quite a good team. But they have lost, in my mind, their star player, Riyad Mahrez. Yes, they still have Jamie Vardy and Demarai Gray, but they don't have much more. And I just think they won't have the best season this season, because they have to completely rethink their tactics now. They've lost Mahrez. So I think they're going to have to redo what type of squad they're going to be making, stuff like that, because they can't have the right wing getting involved in the game as much because Riyad Mahrez is of course gone. So 14th position for Leicester. In 13th position I've gone for Newcastle. Not too bad, quite a good team. They haven't done that much in the transfer market, but I think they're good enough to keep themselves near the top end of the bottom half of the table, just purely because of the teams above them and the pressure on them and stuff like that. I just think they won't be doing enough this season to get top half the table. So on to the 12th position, which I've given to West Ham. I think they've done excellent in the transfer market, but teams like West Ham always do okay in the transfer market, but it's all down to how the players actually play. I think Felipe Anderson will be really good for them, but Yarmolenko, I'm not 100% sure. I think he will be quite good, but do they really have much quality anywhere else on the pitch for that type of high finishes that you used to see from them? So, flying through them now on to the top of the bottom half of the table, we have Crystal Palace. This is all considering they do end up keeping Zaha until the end of the season. If they lose Zaha, I think they will fall a little bit more in the league. But I think Roy Hodgson's a good manager, and Zaha has enough quality to keep them up in the top, near the top end of the table. And but I don't really think that they're there for a top half of the table team yet. Now on the top half of the table, in the 10th position we have Watford. I just think honestly they're a good team and they can do good things if they get the right start that they're looking for. I don't think they've done too much in the transfer market, but with the players that they already had from last season and things like that, I think they can do very well this season for a team of their calibre who you would have expected to have finished in the bottom half of the table when they came to the Premier League, but they've actually been a surprise and actually been really good the past couple of seasons since they've come up from the Championship. So in the 9th position I've gone for Wolves. Again, another transfer market decision. They've just done absolutely amazing in this transfer window, winning the Championship as well. I know this is a bit surprising that I put a Championship team so high up, but I genuinely do just think with the quality of players they brought in, like João Moutinho, Helder Costa, they bought him now, they have Rui Patricio, and they've bought so many more as well. Like they're doing so well in these transfer markets and things like that. And I really do think they're going to do very well in this Premier League season, especially for a Championship team. So in the 8th position I've gone for Burnley, mainly on their performance last season. Of course they have a good team, and Sean Dyche I just think is an excellent manager, and he keeps them all ready for the next game. Like even if Burnley will get thrashed in one game, they could quite easily just go out and play the next game and beat a team of like Chelsea's calibre or something like that. There's like a team like Chelsea or Arsenal or United or Liverpool or anything like that. You can never overwrite Burnley, and of course Europa League could be coming up this season as well for them. So I do think Burnley will finish 8th, not quite in the Europa League, but in the top 10 of the league anyway. In the 7th position I've gone Everton. I know they haven't done that much in the transfer window, but they have signed some decent players, like Richarlison's a good enough player. But at the same time, I just feel Everton's one of them teams, they'll always find a way to scrape themselves to a good position in the Premier League. No matter how bad their season would start, or no matter how bad their season would end, the other half of the season would always be really good. So then they would somehow always find a way to get up there with the better half of teams in the Premier League. I've put Everton in the 7th position. So in the 6th position I've gone Spurs or Tottenham, purely because of the fact that another transfer market one. They've been looking for the trophy for years now. It's been a couple years, 3 years maybe even. It has actually been 3 years. but I think they had to do something in this transfer market to actually get that type of run going to get themselves towards a Premier League title, and they haven't really done that. Well, they haven't done enough, I don't think, anyway. And so I've gone 6th position for Spurs. So in the 5th position I've gone Chelsea. Yes, I've put them outside the top 4, but I think with a new manager, potentially losing their keeper, Morata's not on form, and of course he's not going to be going to AC Milan anymore, because of course they were wanting him, but now they've got Higuain, so they don't really need him. Yes, they have players like Hazard and stuff like that, but after massive links with him in Real Madrid, I think he won't be at his best this season, because he'll just be waiting for that move to just hit a point where Real just go mad and buy him for 100 and something million or something like that. So I think Hazard will have one of them seasons where he's just going to be waiting for a deal to happen, but I think he'll still play quite well this season. But with a new manager, so of course he's going to get rid of some players, he's brought some new players in, he's going to play differently. I have gone for Chelsea in the 5th position, just outside the top 4. In 4th place I've gone Arsenal, because their pre-season was just excellent, like it was just amazing. And of course you've got Unai Emery, who's an unbelievable manager, and they've got new signings like Lichtsteiner, bringing in some experience to that defence, and then Aubameyang and Lacazette as well have started really linking up, and they started playing together and they're playing really well. And of course now that Arsene Wenger's gone, Ozil will be quite happy to keep playing, I think. So quite a good season for Arsenal yet this season again. And 4th position. In the 3rd position, the guaranteed Champions League places, I've gone for United, because United have an excellent team, and I am a United fan myself. If United had a manager like Zinedine Zidane or something like that, I just think they would have a lot more chance of title actually this season, not even 2nd place. So yeah, I've gone 3rd place for United, basically all because of the manager. So in 2nd place I've gone Liverpool. I don't think they'll get 1st place this season again, but I think they've done very well this transfer market, because squad depth like Shaqiri, and then of course bringing in 2 almost world class, you could say, midfielders. If not, you could actually say world class midfielders in Keita and Fabinho. And and of course you have Fabinho as a defensive minded player, so he can make the defence even more solid, because it was a wee bit dodgy. And of course you have no Karius anymore, so there's actually a good keeper for Liverpool. They signed Alisson. But yeah, I think Liverpool will get the 2nd spot. So I wonder who gets 1st. I think, considering there's only one team left and it's the 1st place, I'm going to go for Man City. Just because I've run out of teams. No. Because I think City, they've not sold anyone. They've not sold any of their main team this season. So they still have a very solid team, and they still have all that chemistry because of last season as well. So they all had a year to get to know each other, and then they have squad depth and Mahrez as well. And yeah, I just think City will do excellent again this season and probably win the league. But yeah, again, I am just going to say all this is my opinion. I don't want anyone getting annoyed or anything like that. My opinion. I think some teams could do better. I think some teams might do worse. But I don't know. It's Premier League. It's the Premier League. It's the most unpredictable league on the planet. So guys, that just about wraps up this video. If you did enjoy, don't forget to leave a like. If you're new, don't forget to subscribe. Click the bell if you want to be notified every single time you see every single time I upload a video. There's not really much else to say, except I'll see you later. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace.